So you can hit start on your playlist if you like. And start class in Savasana today. So if at any point you can't fully see me, I trust you to follow my verbal cues because I know the angle's a little wonky. So let the toes turn out here. Let the legs be long. And once you bring your arms alongside your body, palms up, take a second and stretch out, like exaggerate your stretch. So stretch from your fingertips down through your toes, point and flex the feet. And then ground your lower back into the mat. Pick up your right foot, extend it up towards the ceiling, point the right foot, flex the right foot. This is just before we get settled here. Imagine you're lengthening through your leg. And then point the foot, bring it down to the bottom right corner of your mat, turn the toes out. And then just notice any difference just in a little bit of activation through that leg, if it feels longer or maybe not. Either way, just observing what's going on. And then pick up your left leg. Maybe you experience this one slightly differently. This one doesn't go up as much for me. And then flex to the foot, points, flex, point, flex, point, pointing up even higher, bringing your leg even more perpendicular to the mat, and then send it down to the bottom left corner of the mat. Turn your left toes out, heel in, and just readjust your lower back to the ground. Bring your arms alongside your body. Stretch your fingertips away from your shoulders. Drop your shoulders away from the base of your earlobes. And then just I invite you to close your eyes and start to take a body scan. Deepening your breath. And as you deepen your breath, imagine the inhales lengthening your limbs even longer, and the exhales rooting you a little bit more firmly into the ground. Big inhale through the nose. Big exhale out the mouth. Big inhale through the nose. Big exhale out the mouth. One more like that. Inhale through the nose. Exhale out the mouth. Seal the lips, the bottom of that breath out. Find your Ujjayi breath by taking the breath in through the nostrils and out through the nostrils. Constricting the back of your throat slightly. Letting the breath become oceanic as it comes in your nose and out your nose. And then take a moment here, set an intention for our practice together. What brought you to the mat today? When you're ready, gently open your eyes. Hug just your right knee into the chest. Squeeze the right knee in towards the abdomen. So already feeling the front of the hip open here. Anchor the left leg down. Flex through the left foot, toes up. And then interlace your fingers. Bring them behind your right hamstring. And start to extend the right foot up to the ceiling. So you might want to keep a bend in your knee here because we want to keep the left leg anchored to the floor and our hips squared to the ceiling. So start to send your flexed right foot up to the ceiling, and it doesn't have to straighten all the way. And then you can explore with moving the interlaced fingers up and down your hamstring. So for me, I can get the leg a little bit longer if I keep it lower on my hamstring today. So a little bit of a less intense stretch to the hamstring. A bend in the knees here is also a great idea. So press that right foot up to the ceiling. Breathe into the back of the legs. Breathe out. Breath in. breath out. One more breath in, push the sole of the right foot up to the ceiling even more. Breath out, bend right knee into chest, hug it in. Now keeping the left leg anchored into the ground, bring your right arm alongside out to a T, so palm down. I think you have room there. If not, you can cactus your arm. And then take the left hand to the outside of the right knee and start to guide the right knee across the body in the direction of the floor on the left side of your mat. Now, the key here is we want to keep the left hip grounded down towards the mat, the left leg grounded towards the mat rather than flopping out. So probably this stretch is not going to go as far as you might have expected. The outside of the right hip is going to open earlier, so the front of the ankle both shoulder blades over and the front of the exhale, bend your left hand, hand it to the ground. Inhale, bring the knee back to center, hug it in one more time. Exhale, let it go. Bring left knee into chest. Interlace the fingers on the shins. Pull the chest forward up, pull the knee up towards the chest. And then flex through the right foot strongly. Bring the sole of the right foot down to the ground. Bring the back of the right leg down to the ground. So stretching through the right leg, keeping it anchored. And then interlace the fingers, bring them to the back of the left hamstring. And just like we did on the other side, keeping the right leg long, keeping it planted, start to kick your flexed left foot up to the ceiling. So just the action of flexing through the left foot might wake up your hamstring quite a bit. So a bend in the knee is fine here. Cool. And then you might want to play with where you want to keep the interlace of your fingers. So up more towards your knee or towards the calf is going to make the stretch more intense, and down more towards your glute is going to make it less intense. So that might be a good place to start. So breathe into the back of the leg, flexing through the feet, keeping this active. Flexing through the feet is going to stretch the back of your calves, the front of your shin, all the stuff we ignore. And then see if you can find the action of pulling on your interlaced fingers a little bit so that your elbows come out to the side, deepening the stretch that way. Inhale. One more breath out. A breath in, lengthen through the heel. Breath out, bend left knee back into chest, interlace fingers on the left shin, pull the left knee up towards left armpit one more time, and then place right hand outside left knee, left arm comes out to the side in a T or cactus it. And then just like we did on the other side, stay anchored through the right leg, start to guide the left knee across your body. So again, our shoulder blades are staying on the mat, our chest is squared towards the ceiling, and the knee is dropping over, but it's just traveling in that direction. It's not likely to touch. If it does touch, okay, cool. So whatever's happening here happens without judgment. Breathe in, breathe out. Let something go from the left hip. You might feel this on the front or on the outside. Breathe in, bring left knee back to center, hug it in towards your chest one more time, and then bend right knee, bring both knees in together. Grab one wrist or the other over your shins, rock from side to side. This feels really good on the lower back. And then point through the toes, bring the fingers behind the hamstrings, curl chin into chest, start to activate through your core here. So imagine pulling into the deepest muscles of your abdominal wall, and then use that strength to rock from the base of the skull to the tailbone, rocking up. Yes, good. So rather than happening from momentum, it's like we're controlling it from our abdomen. And then meet me at the front of the mat. You can scoot back a little bit. And then point the toes, bring the heels off the ground, setting up for Navasana boat pose. So bring the fingertips to brush behind the hamstrings slightly, and then broaden the collarbone, sit up tall. So already as we do that, good, very good, very nice. Imagine the front of your chest being super wide here. And then just sitting up tall like this and opening the front of your chest, you'll feel your abs start to turn on. Okay, now from here, go ahead, bring one shin parallel with the ground. Good, and then the other shin. And then take a moment to rebalance on your tailbone, broaden the collarbone. Sweet, okay. Take your right hand off the back of your right thigh, reach it forward, palm up. Take left hand off back of left thigh, reach the palm up. Again, readjust, broaden the collarbones, breath in. Breath out, and then lengthen the right leg. Lengthen the left leg. So we're pointing in a V shape. This is Navasana boat pose. Let's hold it for a couple breaths. Inhale. Exhale, keeping the collarbones broad. Inhale. Exhale. On your next inhale, find a wide chest, and then exhale, lower halfway down, curl chin into chest, Ardha Navasana. Palms are up, toes are just a couple inches off the ground, lower back stays glued in. Good. Inhale, back up, boat pose. Exhale, down, Ardha Navasana. So toes are about 45-degree angle, chin into chest, lower back on the ground. Inhale, up one more time. Exhale, lower down one more time. Building up that internal fire. Inhale, back up, bend the knees. Bring the soles of the feet to the ground, cross one shin over the other, and come to tabletop. So spread hands under shoulders, knees under hips. That internal fire in yoga is called our Agni, and we build it up to build up our free will, our perseverance. Let's inhale for cow. Arch the spine, pull the chest forward. So feeling the stretch along the front of the abs. Exaggerate sending your tailbone up to the ceiling. Maybe bring the chin up slightly, but without straining the neck. So just finding release. Exhale, find cat. Arch the spine, head drops down. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. One more here. Breath in, inhale, cow. Make this the widest chested cow yet. Tailbone up. Exhale, press the ground away, cat. Inhale, find neutral spine. Tuck the toes. Tuck all of your toes into the ground. Press into the hands. Spread the fingers wide. Bring the knees to hover off the mat just a couple inches. So here, again, tapping back into that Agni, that internal fire. Roll the weight back into the finger pads, so off the wrists. And you might feel your your hip flexors start to talk to you. In yoga, we call this internal fire part of our practice of tapas, which is not the food, but our practice of discipline. So as we build this internal heat, we build the strength and the perseverance to burn away what isn't serving us. Stay with me. Good. Roll some more weight back into the finger pads, and now send your tailbone up and back for our first downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. So spreading the hands wide. Good. Look back at your feet. Make sure they're about hips width distance apart, toes pointing forward. Spread the fingers wide and imagine an L shape between your index finger and thumb. Index finger pointing up to the top of the mat, and then drop the head down. Good. Now find the sensation of pressing into your hands so that your chest comes even closer to your thighs. Drop the head down. Don't worry, just listen to my cues. And then bend the knees really deeply. Send the tailbone up to the sky. So imagine bending the knees, sending your butt up to the back of the room where the wall meets the ceiling. Yeah, cool. And then exaggerate the diagonal line from the wrists up through your tailbone. Drop the head down. And then from here, start to pedal through the legs with the heels dropping down towards the ground. And then find stillness. So that might be with the heels dropping down towards the ground, or it might be with the knees bent. Either one is good. What we want is the tailbone going up towards the ceiling. All right. From here, roll the weight back into the finger pads of your hands. Roll out to a high plank, a high push-up position. Now, you might find that you need to scoot your feet back or adjust your hands. Do that now. So we want our hands right under our shoulders. Yes. And then our heels are stacked over our toes. So it's almost like an arch stretch. And then we're having a diagonal line from our heels up through our shoulders. So if you notice that your butt is going up, bring it down into that slanted line. And if you notice it's sagging, zip the navel back in. Breath in. Breath out, holding it through high plank. Breath in. Breath out. Don't move the hands. Don't move the feet. Press back, downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. So you might notice that makes your downward dog a little bit longer. And that's a good thing. We want it long for when we flow through a vinyasa or our connection between sides. So if your heels were touching before, but now they don't, that's fine. And remember, in fact, let's do this for a second. Bring the knees gently down to the ground. Bring the knees as wide as the mat. Big toes touch, press back, child's pose. Forehead down to the ground, let that go. So child's pose is always a great place to reset. Reconnect with your intention. And now press into the hands, tuck the toes, bring the knees parallel under the hips, press back, downward facing dog. All right, let's start to take this into a little bit of a flow here. Inhale, bring your right toes up behind you, point the toes. I'm gonna hit the wall in my hotel room. It's all good. And then exhale, roll forward to a plank. So come up high on your left toes, shoulders come over the wrist, tap your right knee towards your right elbow. All right, cool. Inhale, send the right foot up and back. Point the toes, point them even higher. Yes. Exhale, roll forward to a plank again. So shoulders come over wrists, left heel stacks over left toes. Cross the right knee towards your left elbow. It doesn't have to touch. Just send it in that direction. Awesome. Inhale, send right toes up and back. Point the toes. Exhale. Again, one more time. Come forward to plank, shoulders over wrists. Hug right knee into nose. And then set the right foot down between the hands. Low lunge. So go ahead, heel toe the right foot so that the right toes are pointing forward. And right knee stacks over right ankle. And then bring the left knee down for a moment. Untuck left toes. So make sure left shin, left foot that's extended is parallel with the side of your mat. Press into the right foot. Inhale, come up, Anjanasana, Crescent Lunge. So first we can square the hips to the front of the mat and then bring the arms up alongside the ears. Yes. So this is already a bit of a balance challenge. So if you find yourself wobbling, press into the left shin, press into the right foot, square the hips towards the front of the room. Now we'll twist this out by taking the left fingertips forward, like you're going to shake someone's hand with your left hand. And then the right fingertips are going to reach to the back of the room. Both palms are facing the same direction. Yeah, like you're just opening your right shoulder, right chest towards the back of the room. Press into the top of that left foot. Press into the top of the left shin. Reach your shoulders back over your hips if you find that they're going forward or back. Breath in, breath out. Inhale, sweep both arms back up around your biceps towards the front of the room. Good. And now exhale, bring your hands down to frame the front foot, but come up on your fingertips. So spider hands, toes pressing, fingertips pressing into the ground. Press into your right foot, tuck the left toes, bring the left knee off the ground. So we're in a low lunge. My fingertips are pressing into the mat in front of my right foot. Shift the weight forward into the right foot. Look forward at a spot that isn't moving. Inhale, pick up the left foot for supported warrior 3, Virabhadrasana 3. So toes are down on your left foot, heel is up. Good. And you can keep the fingertips like even lightly on the ground like this. Do you want to find length from your left heel up through the top of your head? So keeping a deep bend in the standing leg is a great idea too. Cool. Kick through that back foot like you're kicking against a wall. And then let it go. Bring your left foot down to meet your right. Forward fold. Uttanasana. So getting into the hamstrings a little bit here. Maybe you want to keep a deep bend in your hamstrings, or maybe you're ready to extend them. But either way, take a moment and rock from side to side, maybe grabbing elbows. Let the top of the head drop down. Roll some weight back into the balls of your feet. That'll open the hamstrings a little bit more. And then let the hands go. Start to slowly roll up to stand, keeping the chin into the chest, maybe keeping a soft bend in the knees. And when you come up to stand, head stacks over shoulders. Let's inhale, sweep the arms forward, palms touch overhead. High prayer, Urdhva Hastasana. So this is where my face is going to disappear for a little bit. Press through the feet, lift up, palms overhead. Keep your palms just in front of your head so you can see where they are. Maybe find a little bit of a back bend. Awesome. And then exhale, forward fold. Bring the pair of hands down through center. Let me come back in frame here. And then inhale, halfway lift. Ardha Uttanasana. Ardha just means halfway. Uttanasana means forward fold. Palms to the thighs or the shins. Good. Back is flat. And then exhale, forward fold. Plant the hands strongly into the mat. So bend the knees to get there. Spread the fingers wide. Inhale, send the left foot back. Low lunge. Exhale, send the right foot back. Inhale, shift your shoulders forward over your wrists. High plank. Hold on the breath out. Hold breath in. Hold breath out. One more breath in here. Exhale, bend the elbows straight back. So straight back. So as they bend backwards, they brush your ribs on the way down. Lowering all the way down. Untuck the toes. Keep the hands under the shoulders. Lengthen through the toes. Press into the toenails. Lift the kneecaps off the ground. Press strongly into the mat. Inhale, lift up cobra. So we're pretty warm here. So you can press into the hands as long as those elbows stay glued in. Good. Yes, I can see. And then maybe lift up a little bit more. Press into the hips, press into the tops of the feet. My one request is that you keep your neck long. So as much as you're lifting from your core, from your lower back, which is part of your core, we're not doing like a jaw thing here. Okay. Press into the hands. Come through tabletop, hands and knees. Reach up toes. Send the tailbone up and back. Downward facing dog. Let's do that on the other side. Press into the right foot. Press into both hands. Square your chest towards the mat. So we're not looking under either armpit. We're looking down. And then inhale, point the left toe up and back. I'm going to hit this desk here. And then exhale, roll forward to a plank. So we're rolling forward over the right toes. Right heel stacks over right toes. Shoulders stack over wrist. Left knee comes into left elbow. Or maybe in that direction. Good. Press the weight into your fingers to take pressure off your wrists. Inhale, left foot up and back. Exhale, roll forward over the toes again, shoulders over wrist. Left knee comes across to right elbow. Inhale, send it up and back. And then exhale, roll forward, shoulders over wrist, left knee into nose, hold it here. And then exhale, set the left foot down between the hands. Low lunge. So left toes forward, left knee over left ankle. And then gently place right knee on the ground, untuck right toes. So look back, make sure right shin, top of right foot are parallel with the side of the mat. So our joints are nicely aligned here. Press into the top of the right shin, bottom of the left foot. And then inhale, come up to Crescent Lunge, Anjanasana. Arms come alongside the ears. Palms in towards each other. Think of spiraling the pinkies towards each other. And then just breathe. Again, using your core strength to pick your upper body up off the left thigh here, maybe looking up. So asana in Sanskrit means physical pose, which is why everything is such and such asana. And Anjaneyya was a beautiful woman in mythology. So all of these poses have cool stories behind them, which we can get into another time. All right, reach your right hand forward like you're going to shake someone's hand. So now the right palm is facing towards the left of the room. And then slice the left arm open. So our palms are now towards the front of the room. And then make sure that your left chest, left shoulder's coming open, shoulders are stacked over the hips. Good. Breathe in from the base of your tailbone up to the top of your head. So this is a balance challenge. So just press into the top of the right foot, right shin. And then inhale, slice those arms back up, bring them back up to center. One more time, look up, breathe into the front of your right hip. This is a big hip opener. And then exhale, bring the hands down to frame the left foot. So maybe a couple inches in front of the left foot. Find the spire fingers. Press strongly into the fingertips here. And then tuck right toes, bring right knee off the ground, low lunge. So pressing strongly into the fingertips, pressing strongly into the bottom of the left foot. Shift the weight forward into the left foot. And then inhale like your right foot is weightless. Pick up the right foot, supported warrior three. Virabhadrasana three. So again, I'm making a T shape from my right heel approximately to the top of my head. So if it helps you keep a bend in that standing leg, cool. All right, and then flex to that right foot like so strongly, like you're kicking against a wall. And then exhale, bring it down, let it go. Forward fold, Uttanasana, forward fold at the top of the mat. And this time, take your two fists and measure 2 fist distance between your feet. Just a little bit of an alignment thing here. And then take your peace fingers, so your index finger and pointer finger and your thumb, make circles with them and loop those circles around your big toe. Take a deep bend in the knees here and then pull yourself closer towards your thighs by pulling into the lock between the fingers and the toes and pulling your elbows out to the side. Look down. So as you pull your elbows outward and drop your upper body closer towards your thighs, maybe then you can play with lengthening through one leg and then the other. Just breathing into the backs of the hamstrings. Okay, and then let go of the toe lock. Press into all 4 corners of your feet. Take a soft bend in your knees again. Inhale, chin into chest. Roll up to stand. Sweep the hands up overhead. Palms touch. Lift up to look up. Yes. Exhale, forward fold. Bring the pair of hands down through center. Inhale, lift halfway, flat back. Palms to shins or thighs. We never want to press into the knee. And then exhale, forward fold. So plant the hands strongly. Bend the knees a lot to get there if you need to. Inhale, right foot steps back, this time low lunge. Exhale, left foot steps back, high plank. Take a moment here, find that alignment where we have a diagonal line from heel up through shoulders without sagging or without sticking our butt up too much. You'll know it because it'll feel engaged. Roll the weight into the finger pads. And then we'll hold for a couple breaths. Inhale. Exhale. This is why we find our Ujjayi breath. Because focusing on the breath brings us back to the moment when physical challenge or any kind of challenge might try to steal our attention. Big breath in, big breath out. You asked for core. All right, inhale. Shift the shoulders forward over the wrists slightly. Bend the elbows straight back. They'll brush the ribs on the way down. Come all the way down. Untop the toes, hands under the shoulders. Glue the elbows into your sides. Press into the toenails. Kneecap come off the ground. And then with your elbows straight back, push into the hands. Inhale up, cobra, bhujangasana. So again, asana meaning pose. And then all the various little words mean cobra. Sanskrit is such an interesting language. Press into the hips, pull up even taller using your core muscles in your back. Sanskrit is such a cool historical language because you can have a word like asana and it's broken down into smaller and smaller and smaller parts where individual sounds and syllables all have meaning. Lift up a little bit higher. We're strengthening our lower back as we do this. And then exhale, press into the hands. Come through bent hands and knees. Tabletop. Tuck the toes. Press back. Downward facing dog. Let the head drop down. Let go of any control of your abdominal muscles just for a moment. You can let go. Now come back to the Ujjayi breath strongly. Press into the hands. Press into the left foot. Inhale, right toes up and back. Exhale, this time just roll forward to that plank. Bring right knee into nose, and we'll set right foot down between the hands. Right knee over right ankle, right toes pointing forward. Spin the left foot down to the back edge of the mat. So seal the left edge of the left foot to the back edge of the mat. Left toes pointing forward, left heel back. Right heel aligns with left inner arch. We're building warrior two from the ground up. So when you've got that, right knee over right ankle, good. Inhale up. Bring your hands to your hips for a moment and square your hips to the side of the room. Good. So in Warrior Two, it's like our energy is going in this direction, but our upper body is facing this way. It's an open hip pose. Now with your hands on your hips, look down at your big toe and see if you can see your big toe. Okay, and if you can, cool. If not, that just means you need to fire up your right inner thigh and press that right knee out a little bit more. Like if I was practicing with you in person, I might come and gently guide your right knee out. Cool. All right, tuck the tailbone under. Think neutral hips, neutral pelvis, chest towards the front of the room. When you've got all of that, bring the arms out long to a T. It's like you're shooting energy from the left fingertips out to the right fingertips. You're looking over the right fingertips. Arms are so strong here, like I could press down on your biceps. Drop the shoulders away from the ears. Breathe in. Breathe out, sit lower into that front knee. It's okay if the knee goes a little bit past the ankle here. Breathe in. Breathe out, feeling any sensation, that internal fire, that heat maybe building up in the front thigh. Breathe in. Reverse warrior. Left arm comes down the left leg. Right palm turns up. Right arm reaches up over into the back of the room. Good. Rebend through that right knee. Do not lose that right bend. And then breathe through the right side of the body. Cool. All right, inhale, straighten the right leg. Reverse triangle. Now come up to stand, bring head over shoulders, stack shoulders over hips. Leave the right arm up, turn the right toes towards the side of the mat. Left arm comes up, then bring the palms to touch, lift up, look up. Sometimes this is called flying warrior. It's just a little bit of a back bend situation. And then exhale, separate the hands, bring them shoulder width distance apart, find a tall spine, and then pressing into the toe mounds of your feet to take weight off your heels. Inhale, come down halfway. So we're breathing through our hamstrings, good. Turn the palms down towards the mat. Keep a soft bend in your knees if you find your knees are uncomfortably locking out. Keep your back flat, parallel to the ground. And then from here, cactus the arms. Bring the elbows out, even with the shoulders. Good. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, cactus the arms, goalpost the arms. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, cactus the arms. Inhale here, now pinch the shoulder blades together behind your back, so strengthening the upper back muscles. And then exhale, let the hands drop down to the ground. Wide-legged forward fold. This is called Prasarita, Paratanasana. So let the head drop down. And then again, roll weight into the front of the feet because it's so easy to let it fall back into the heels and lock out the knees. And then if you like, you can bend through one knee and then the other. And then re-lengthen both legs. And I invite you now to take those peace fingers, so thumb, index finger, middle finger, lock the right fingers around the right big toe, plant the right toe back on the mat. Take the left peace fingers, left middle finger, left index finger, left thumb, around the left big toe. Roll the weight into the pads of the big toe, and then inhale, lift up to a flat back as much as you can. You're probably pretty low, I am. And then exhale, just like we did in that forward fold, bend the elbows out to the side to bring yourself further into the fold. Deepening the sensation in the hamstrings, letting your head drop down. Breathe in. Breathe out. Okay. Go ahead, let go of that toe lock. Bring the hands down under your head. Turn the right toes back towards the front of your mat. Bend into the right knee. And then start to crawl your right hands back to frame the right foot. Retuck the left toes. So now left heel is off the ground. Listen carefully. On your next inhale, press into the hands. Send the right foot back, one-legged plank. Hold here. Breath out. Breath in. Exhale, bend the elbows straight back. Bring both legs down to the ground. Lengthen through both legs. Toes point into the ground. Inhale, cobra. Remember, elbows bend straight back. Maybe this is the biggest back bend of your day. Feel free to be active with it, but drop the shoulders away from the ears. Good. And then exhale, press into the hands. Come to hands and knees momentarily. And then exhale back, downward facing dog. Taking that on the other side. Press into right foot and the hands. Inhale, left toes come up. Exhale, shift forward to plank, shoulders over wrists. Right heel comes off the ground. Left knee into nose. Press left foot down, low lunge. Left heel stacks over left ankle. Good. And then right foot spins down to the back edge of the mat. So again, building warrior two or Virabhadrasana 2 from the ground up. We want our right edge of the right foot sealing to the back of the mat like a suction cup. So like you could press into that outside and the arch would lift up almost, but everything would be fine. Yeah? Okay, our right toes are now pointing to the back of the room, right heel towards the front, and then heel toe your left foot so that the left heel lines up with the right inner arch. Now you'll see it from the back, which may add some kind of dimension of interestingness. And then inhale, come up to stand with hands on hips. So squaring our hips and our chest now towards the back of the room, but keeping the left knee pressing out strongly. So we fire up that left inner thigh to protect the knee to keep it from caving in. So again, big toe check. Look down at the left big toe. And then if you can't see it, just press that left knee out a little bit more and it builds a little bit more heat. All right, stacking shoulders over hips. Now bring the arms out to a T. Shoot energy from the right fingertips out to the left fingertips. And then gaze over your left fingertips. We call this use of the visual focal point in yoga drishti or gaze. And it's another tool that we can use along with the breath to focus the mind. Sit lower into the left thigh. So again, like I've mentioned, as we practice together, the goal of yoga is not an empty mind and we can't force calm, but we can use tools to find concentration, and from concentration, calm flows. Bring the right hand down the right leg, turn the left palm up, keep the bend in the left knee. Inhale, reverse warrior. Left arm reaches up, over, into the back of the room. Keep the bend in that left knee, sink lower as a challenge. Breathe through the left side of the body. And then inhale. Lengthen the left leg, reverse warrior. Keep the left arm up. Turn the left toes towards the back of the room. Right arm comes up. Right palm touches left. Press through both feet, which are now parallel to the back of the room. Inhale, lift up, look up. And then separate the hands shoulder distance apart. All right. Now from here, lower halfway to the ground. Our fingers are reaching away from us. Roll the weight into the toe mounds of your feet. Engage the core to keep yourself parallel with the ground. Find a micro bend at the knees if that feels good. Then turn the palms down to the to the floor. And exhale, goalpost the arms, bringing the elbows out even with the shoulders. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, goalpost the arms. One more like this. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, goalpost the arms. On the next inhale, pinch the shoulder blades together, squeezing the little muscles between them. And then exhale, drop the hands down between the feet. Let the head go. Prasarita, Paratanasana, wide-legged forward fold. Roll weight into the toe mounds of your feet. And then let's find that toe lock here again. So again, the peace fingers, middle finger, index finger, thumb of the left hand are going to loop around the left big toe. Left big toe steps on them and presses down into the mat. Right thumb, right index finger, right middle finger, make a circle, loop around right big toe. Step down on the fingers. Now inhale, lift up to a flat back, however that might manifest for you. And then exhale, bend the elbows out to bring yourself more into the forward fold. And again, focus on rolling weight into the front of your feet. That'll keep the pressure off the heels and it'll keep the pressure off the hamstrings. But again, we want to be really nice to the hamstrings here. So if you want to go ahead and take those bends through one knee and the other that we did on the other side, you can do that with the toe lock. And then let go of the bending. Let go of the toe lock. Turn your left toes back towards the front of the mat. Bend into the left knee. Start to crawl your hands back towards the left foot. Bring the right heel off the ground, low lunge. All right, listen carefully again. Plant the hands into the ground. Plant the right toes into the ground. Send the left toes back, one-legged plank. So you're pointing to the left toes. Hold here for a breath in. Breath out. All we have to lose is our ego. And all we have to gain is this internal fire, this tapas, this discipline. Exhale, bend the elbows straight back, lower down, one-legged plank. Both legs come down to the ground. Lengthen through both feet. Hands under the shoulders, elbows glute in. Inhale. Cobra, Bhujangasana. Lift up a little bit higher, drop shoulders away from the ears. Imagine all the little muscles above your glutes engaging to lift you up. And then exhale, press into the hands. Come to hands and knees, tuck the toes, hips up and back, downward facing dog. Okay. Inhale, look forward at the top of the mat. Exhale, take a step or walk forward. Hands on either side of the feet, forward fold. So I'll do it facing this way. All right. From here, bring your hands to your hips. Keep your chin into chest. And slowly roll up to stand here so that we don't get dizzy or anything. And I'm going to go ahead and adjust this slightly for the balance poses so you can see my face. Maybe grab a sip of water. Okay. So pressing through both feet. We can start with Vrikshasana tree pose, which is a nice one to start out with. So plant the left foot into the mat, bend the left knee slightly, and hug the right knee into the chest. Cool. Or you can just keep one hand gently on that knee, and then open right knee out to the side. Now, pressing the left foot into the ground, grab for your right ankle, and place your right foot inside the left thigh. It's actually super fun to practice if you would do it this way. So we're going to get right in it. Okay, so to keep your balance here, what you want to do is with the toes down and the heel up, as much as you're pressing into that inner thigh, think about the inner thigh pressing back into the foot. So almost like feel your left inner thigh engage. I'm wobbling while I do it, but it's all good, okay? And then bring hands to heart center. Take a moment, square your hips, your chest towards the front of the room. And then to add a little bit more of a balance challenge, you can lift your palms up, your fingertips up, palms in towards each other. Cool. And then if you want to challenge yourself in balance a little bit more, you can look up. Find a spot on the ceiling. That one is really challenging. Okay. All right. Bring your right knee back to center. Take a gentle bend in your left knee. Shake it out. Let's try that on the other side. So bring both feet down to the ground. Soft bend in the right knee. Inhale, left knee comes up into the chest. You can either hug it in, keep the left hand there, whatever works. And then open that left knee out to the side. So rotating the left hip open. Tap that foot down if you fall. Grab the left ankle and then bring the left foot into the inside of the right thigh. And an emergency wall there. That was cool. All right. So now my left heel is up towards the groin. The left toes are down. We never want to press into the knee here. So if you want to find more grounding in this pose, you bring it down to the calf or kickstand on the floor, right? The knee is not meant to go like that. So that's my one psycho thing. There's a photo. I know I'm talking. We're building our balance. Bring your hands to heart center. There's this photo going around of Mo Salah practicing tree pose, and he's got his boot right on his knee. And I'm just like, how could anyone let that happen? Okay. Press into the right foot strongly. Press the right thigh back against the left foot. Bring the hands up. And then you can look up. Or maybe close your eyes and see what happens and just do it by feel. Whew, okay. So for me, let it go, shake everything out. So that's kind of like the last frontier, sensory deprivation. That's how we can scale a pose up. Shake out the legs. Got one more thing for you before we close it, cool it down. All right. Pressing into the left foot, keeping a soft bend in the left knee. This time, bring your right knee up into your chest. Okay. Keep a left hand on front of right shin. Find the peace fingers of your right finger. So like we've been doing the whole time. Thumb, index finger, middle finger. Okay, take those peace fingers, loop them around your right big toe, and then stand up tall with your right knee bent. Can't really see you because it's dark, but I'm gonna offer a couple options here. Now I want you to keep a slight bend in your left knee so you don't lock out the left leg. If this feels good with your shoulders stacked over your hips, stay here. Now, to turn this into more of a balance challenge, your left calf might be burning here. Bring your left hand to your left hip and then flex your right foot forward towards the front of the room. Now, the more important thing in this pose, which is extended hand to big toe pose, is to keep a tall spine. So if the spine is taller with the standing leg like this, do that rather than forcing it straight and falling over, okay? So I'm gonna pick up my foot again, stand up tall, flex my right foot to the front of the room, and then I have a bend in my knee today. Sometimes I don't, right? That's the whole thing with yoga. Or I might want to try it again. You might want to try it again and see what happens. Maybe it gets more. But my shoulders always stay over my hips. Rebend right knee. Let that go because I'm falling. Woo! Okay. So that is extended hand to big toe pose, or Uttita Hasta Padangustasana, which I just like to say. I'll try that on the left side and we'll cool things down. So bring the feet back under the hips, bend slightly into the right knee, and then hug the left knee back into the chest. Sit up tall, stand up tall. All right, right hand comes to right hip. Keep that left knee up, and again, find the peace finger. So thumb, index finger, middle finger. Loop them around the left big toe, stand up tall. So our knee is coming with me, or knee is coming with us, and shoulders stacked over hips, okay? From here, keeping that connection between the toe and the fingers, I'm gonna flex my left foot and press it out towards the front of the room. So again, I'm only gonna push that foot out as long as I can keep a tall spine, shoulders over hips. This side is not gonna get as straight as the other side. So breathe in here. Again, the integrity of the pose is about finding a tall spine. What happens in your hamstring doesn't matter. We want to find the tall spine while keeping the balance and keeping the connection between hand and big toe. All right, rebend left knee, and then let that go, shake it out. Whew. Okay. Let me adjust this mirror. Take a forward fold, cooling everything back down. I want to show you one more in the spirit of hamstrings. All right. Now we did the toe lock around the big feet. I want to show you one more pose called gorilla pose. So bend deeply into the knees. Let your hands drop down, palms are turning up. And then if you can, bend deeply enough through the knees, I think you can. Slide one hand under one foot so that your toes meet your wrists, and then step on that hand. It's like a little massage for the wrist here. And then take the other wrist, slide it under the other foot so that right toes meet right wrist. Okay, drop the head down, knees are bent. And then from here, maybe you lengthen one leg, maybe you lengthen the other, maybe you keep them bent. And then slide the hands back out. Bend into both knees strongly. Plant the hands on the floor. Inhale, step left foot back. Exhale, step right foot back. Let's just take one breath in here. Shift the shoulders forward over the wrists, heels over toes. Exhale, bend the elbows straight back, lower all the way to the ground. One long line. And for a moment here, let the big toes touch, let the heels flop out, let the palms stack, and then bring the forehead down to the ground. Just resting. Breathing into the lower back. And now lengthen both legs strongly. Point both sets of toes towards the back of the room. Zip the insides of the legs together. Listen carefully. Press the hips into the ground. Press the forehead into the top of the hands. And now, like you had one leg that's connected, or like a mermaid tail or a fish tail or shark tail, whatever. No, shark tails don't move that way. Mermaid tail is a very flowery yoga language. Imagine you have one leg, okay? Everything is zipped together. Now, without moving your upper body, press the hips into the mat. How high can you take your legs, this singular leg? It might just be a couple inches. Point through the toe. Press. Activate through your hamstrings. Activate through your calves. And then without setting them back down, inhale, bring them as wide as the mat. Lift the feet up even higher. This is strengthening the lower back. So important, especially for balance. Keep lifting, pointing even higher. Now, bring the legs back together. Point through the feet. Inhale, separate the feet. Match what distance apart. Can you bring them up even higher? I know this is burning. It might feel frustrating because it's only a couple inches. That just means we're getting stronger. Exhale, bring the feet back together. And then inhale one more time, as wide as the mat. Lift up, lift up, lift up. Exhale, bring the toes together. Let that go. Bring the big toes together. Heels flop out to the sides. And shake everything out. Bring the hands under the shoulders. Come to tabletop for a moment, and then bring knees as wide as the mat. Big toes touch. Sink back, child's pose, just as a counter pose for that strong back bend. Breathe into the lower back. Let the hips sink back on the heels. And then inhale, come back to tabletop. Bring hands under shoulders, knees under hips. So we're setting up for pigeon from here, which we've done together. If you have a pillow handy and you want to use it, that can be nice. I'll do it at an angle here. Yeah, so you can see me better. Okay, cool. So I like to set up from here. You can also set up from downward facing dog, but this is like a little bit more methodical. You got a pillow? Okay, perfect. Okay, so to set up here, first side, I'm gonna bring my right knee behind my right wrist. Okay, and then lengthen through that back leg. So my left leg is gonna get really long alongside the mat. And then think about shifting, scooting your right foot, right ankle up towards your left wrist. Now, I want you to be really careful about keeping a straight line from your heel down through your toes. So we don't want to twist our foot to the right or to the left here. Long line from heel to toe, okay? That protects our ankle. So if that means that this front shin is at a 45-degree angle, that is the integrity of the pose. That's so important. Cool. Now, I have a big space when I do this today under my right glute. So I'm going to go ahead and slide. I'm going to turn away now, slightly different angle. So I have this big opening under my right glute. So I'm going to slide that pillow under it for stability. And again, I'm going to make really sure that the left leg and back left foot are pointing straight back. I'm psycho about protecting our ankles, okay? So check in on both of these. Okay, from here, press your palms into the mat in front of the right shin. Okay, and then I think we can go for a little bit more sensation here. So let's start to walk the hands forward. And then you take yourself to your edge. So that might be with the forearms down and the head dropping down. Or maybe you want to stack your fists, bring your head down to the fists. Or maybe you stack the palms if your forehead can make it down to your palms. And let's just take 5 big breaths in this pose, pigeon pose. And when you're ready, start to press into your hands, press your palms into the ground, lift up here through a tall spine. And then remove that pillow if you had it and just ease your way back to tabletop, hands and knees, maybe shake things out. And then we'll set up for the other side. So grab your pillow. From tabletop, hands and knees, slide left knee behind left wrist. Okay, good. And then start to slide the left foot behind the right wrist. Cool. So again, be crazy about making sure there's a straight line from heel down through your toes. So the foot shouldn't be like this and shouldn't be like that. Okay, we want to be really nice for ankle. Sweet. Okay, so once we have that set up, slide the right leg back a lot. So my right leg is long, it's straight, parallel with the side of the mat. My right toes are pointing back. Now I still got a space under my left glute. All good. Grab your cushion. And then maybe press into the ground a little bit more, slide back on the right leg, press your palms into the mat, tall spine. And then you choose which way you want to explore this pose. So one side might be really loose compared to the other. For me, whatever reason, it's my left side. So maybe walk your hands forward, drop the head, or maybe bring the forearms down, or the fists can stack. The palms can stack. I don't know, maybe eventually the upper body comes down. It's the weirdest thing, but let's take 5 breaths together here. And then press into the hands wherever they are. Walk them back towards the left shin. You can gently remove any cushioning that you had. And then press into the palms. Come back to hands and knees, tabletop. Shake everything out. And then sit back on your heels. Drop the butt to one side. Lie down for Savasana, our final well-deserved relaxation. So reconnect with that length that we created right at the beginning of class from this shape, lengthening through the legs, heels as wide as the mat, toes flop out, palms turn up. And then just let everything sink. We'll be here in silence for about 2 minutes until I guide us out. Start to come back to your body. wiggling fingers and toes. Take a big stretch overhead. And then bend one knee, bring the sole of one foot to the ground, and the other. And then roll over onto either side, whatever works. Keep the eyes closed and use your bottom arm as a pillow. Bringing the top palm down to the ground to stabilize. And just take a moment here, resting in this space of charge and then recharge. And keeping the eyes closed, press that top palm into the ground gently. Bring yourself up to an easy seat towards the sound of my voice. It's called Sukhasana, easy pose or sweet pose. Sukha means sweet. And I love that because it means that we find the expression of this posture after so much work or when we come to our mat. And that is some of the sweetest part of the practice. We're getting started or when we're rewarding ourselves for an effort well done. Place your palms down on your thighs. One last breath together here. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, let it go. You can gently open your eyes. Thank you so much for practicing with me.